Hey everybody, Kevin Duffy of the Boston Herald here at Gillette Stadium with Karen Gregan, Patriots beat columnist. It is AFC Championship week.
Yes.
For the 8th straight year, the Patriots are in the AFC title game. They're coming off what I thought was maybe the best game they've played, and I've covered the team since 2014. It was probably the best game I've seen them play. So they're really peaking heading to this game against Kansas City. Yet they are still the underdogs. Karen, do you remember the last time they were an underdog in a playoff game?
Yeah, against the Rams.
There was one more recently, but yes. They were underdogs at the Broncos in the 2013 AFC title game. That all-time Peyton Manning offense with Eric Decker, Demaryius Thomas. Kind of similar circumstances here. They're going on the road against a historically great offense. And I think it's going to be one of the most fascinating matchups of the Bill Belichick era.
The Rams were a historically great offense, too. Just going back there.
Okay. Anyway, point being, it is extremely rare for them to actually be underdogs. And I think what we've seen this week in talking to some of the players and just watching them on social media, they're really embracing that role. You had Tom Brady come off the field and say to the CBS cameras, well, everyone thinks we suck and we can't win a game. Then you have Julian Edelman printing up these shirts.
Bet against us.
Yeah, bet against us. And you even have players in the locker room openly talking about how it is good to have that kind of an edge sometimes. And even though this is the Patriots, it's a team that's been to 8 straight AFC title games, they're embracing that mentality.
Well, back in the days when they were just beating people up and winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl, you had guys in the locker room like Rodney Harrison having to invent slights. I mean, they would spend days. He would spend days trying to find the littlest of things to get them going. You know, the littlest line in a story. Oh, they think we can't do this, and they think. Well, now there's much more material out there for them to grab on, and the fact that yes, they are the underdog. They're 3.5-point dogs in this game.
Yeah.
It's right in front of them. They don't have to invent it. They don't have to make it up.
This is one of the first games I've covered where people actually are betting against them. I mean, the spread is not in their favor, and I think most of the public and analysts, if you watch TV, writers who cover the game, think Kansas City is going to win.
But even still, I think people are taking it as like, oh, come on. You've been to 8 straight of these. You have Tom Brady still, and they still think it's a bit much. I don't know how much credence they're giving to it.
It can be kind of funny to hear, but I think a lot of it stems from the discussion around Brady, and there's some music going on behind us. The Patriots
they're practicing for what they're about to hear in Arrowhead Stadium.
Last time they played at Arrowhead, they broke a record for the loudest stadium ever in a football game, so I'm sure they're ready for that noise. But I think the underdog mentality stems from Brady, because there's just been a lot of talk about Brady's decline this year, and that's not something they're inventing or they're manufacturing to try to get themselves psyched up. That's true. Just go watch TV or read even some of the stuff that we've written about Brady's play taking a step back. In a way, even though it's weird to say, Brady is kind of the underdog here.
Well, yeah, and he's, in his mind anyway, been the underdog for his life. A 6th-round draft choice. He's always played with that chip on his shoulder, and it's done him pretty well, I would say.
Right, and I would even throw Julian Edelman into that mix. There's a lot. I talked to Matthew Slater about this yesterday, and he said I think he even laughed at the suggestion that, like, come on, you guys aren't really underdogs. But he said there's a lot of guys on this team, Edelman, Brady, going down to less important, like Chris Hogan, guys who were undrafted, who didn't really come in with a lot of fanfare, and have had to maintain that to keep that level of play. I think that's a big reason for Brady's success in his career, and I think for Edelman as well.
And if your leaders are having that mentality, it's going to generate all throughout the rest of the locker room.
Unfortunately, the music just ended, and I think we're going to wrap up the video.
It's just getting into the groove.
From there. So you can find all our Patriots Chiefs coverage on bostonherald.com. We'll both be in Kansas City. Should be a very good one for the AFC Championship.